Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another episode. This week I want to talk about highly sensitive people. Let's talk about the things that we don't want to say to someone who's highly sensitive. These are the things that are really going to trigger this person to probably feel very sensitive about their sensitivity. I think one of the biggest things that I definitely struggled with was just not accepting the fact that I was highly sensitive. Once I kind of embraced it and I said, okay, this basically is who I am, I have to accept it, whether it is good or bad, then I started being able to learn how to really cope with it in a really healthy way. If you are not someone who's highly sensitive and you're watching this video, then hopefully you can get some tips on basically how to learn more about the person that you really love in your life, how to manage this relationship a little bit better so you can really start to understand what does it feel like to be someone who is highly sensitive. One of the worst things that you can say to someone who's highly sensitive is you're overreacting. No one likes to be told that they're overreacting because it invalidates that person's experience and how they feel in that situation. Could someone be reacting emotionally to the situation in a way that you wouldn't? Absolutely. But your job as the person who is engaging with this person is not to tell them that what they're feeling is bad. It's actually to get them to understand that their feelings are their responsibility and that their feelings are normal based on who they are and the experiences that they've been through. What we're doing in that situation is we're actually validating the person. And when we validate the person, someone feels heard and understood. And when that happens, you actually connect with each other. When you invalidate someone's experience, it causes a lot of friction and distance between the two people. Now, if you're the person that's becoming a little reactive and erratic in that environment, then those feelings and those emotions are yours to handle and manage. And that's why it's so important as someone who is highly sensitive, or just people in general, even if you're not someone with HSP, you have to learn how to manage and take full responsibility for what you think and how you feel. You have to learn how to manage your emotional responses. The next thing that is probably one of the worst things that you can say to someone who's highly sensitive is, are you depressed? So on one hand, the question might be somewhat appropriate if you actually feels as though someone in your life is depressed. But a lot of times, someone who's narcissistic will actually say this to someone who's highly sensitive. And the reason being is that they're judging this highly sensitive person and how they actually respond in life. Someone who's highly sensitive has the natural ability to feel on a really deep emotional level. That means that at times it's going to be very easy for them to shed a tear. It's going to be very easy for them to get overwhelmed or to feel super emotional in certain environments or situations or things that they're watching or things that they're seeing. And because of this amazing, beautiful gift, to someone who is not so sensitive, you might think that something's wrong with this person or something's wrong in general, and that's not really the case. What you're witnessing is the sensitivity coming to the surface. And if you're someone who is highly sensitive, you 100% know that whether it is watching a commercial, listening to music, watching a movie, hearing a story, watching the news, you can get very entangled emotionally in those experiences, and it's very easy for you to feel them very deeply. Even if you're just hanging out with friends and family, there could be a brief moment where you're just very aware of what's going on and you feel a deep sense of connection and love in that moment, and it causes you to express it in an emotional way. Now, for some people, they can't really understand how someone can become that emotional over listening to a song or being in nature or being in an environment where this person is feeling obviously a lot of presence to where they are, and they're feeling that deep love and connection with the person that they're watching, whether the story is something good and hopeful or something that's really horrific and bad. A lot of people can't really understand that because, quite frankly, they themselves are disconnected to their own emotions. Now, because that is the vast majority of the world that we live in, it's not looked upon as having a great ability or skill. It's actually looked at as a weakness or a flaw or something that's wrong with you. What we really have to accept and embrace is that we're human and we're actually supposed to feel human emotions. So is the person depressed? Probably not. Are they just sensitive and they're feeling a deep human emotion? Absolutely yes. One of the next things that you probably don't want to say to someone who's highly sensitive is, you're very emotional, you need to meditate, you need to chill out, how can you relax, you're always stressed out, you always seem overwhelmed. Probably one of the worst things that you could say, because this person does get overwhelmed. But a lot of times these sentences and these phrases are coming at this person who's highly sensitive with a lot of judgment. But one of the things that used to always kind of like really just hook me and get me was when someone was telling me that I needed to relax. Totally understood that I might need to relax in your eyes, but I didn't really feel stressed. I didn't really feel overwhelmed. And sometimes I perhaps did. Maybe those were the moments where someone wasn't telling me to relax. But saying that to someone who is already sensitive is going to make them feel overwhelmed, because nothing screams, let's get stressed out, more than someone pointing out the fact that you're really stressed, especially when you kind of throw in the judgment kind of comments of you need to relax, you have to learn how to relax, you should probably go meditate, and saying it in a way that's not really helpful, but more in a way that's judgmental. One of the last things that really bugs someone who's highly sensitive is when someone just tells you to get over it. It's not really that easy, and saying get over it to someone, or you just need to get over it to someone, it completely invalidates their experience. One of the things that is the most important thing for you to do for yourself, as well as learning how to do it for other people, is to validate how they feel and their experiences. The minute you can validate it, you immediately build a connection with someone else. And when you're telling someone to get over it, it means that the way that they're feeling is wrong. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. When someone says things like, just get over it, I don't know what to do for you right now, those things make you feel like you're unhealthy. Those things make you feel like you're crazy. Those things make you feel like you're the one that actually has the problem. And when you don't know how to fully take care of yourself, and you haven't really learned how to embrace your sensitivities and manage them in healthy ways, you're going to feel not good about yourself when someone says this, and this is what's going to trigger you, and this is what's going to then cause you to actually emotionally react in a negative way. One of the things that I have learned to say that has really helped me for someone who's highly sensitive, when people would say these things to me, is it's perfectly fine that I feel this way. I think the more that you can embrace what you're going through in your own experiences, and the more you can communicate that with another person. I know how I'm feeling right now might make you feel uncomfortable, but I'm totally okay with it, and it's okay that I feel this way right now. Wow, what a concept. What an ability as a healthy, highly sensitive person to be able to tell someone, hey, look, I know you don't get it, but like I get it, and I know how to manage it, and I know it might make you feel uncomfortable, but I'm okay. When you start to come from that space, you are not the problem. You are not reactive, and you actually let this person see how healthy you are and that you can actually manage yourself. A lot of the times we don't need anyone to say anything or do anything for us to make us feel good, unless you're coming from a real codependent place where you haven't actually learned how to accept yourself and love yourself. But for the most part, we just want to be seen, we just want to be heard like everyone. Someone who's highly sensitive, again, because you're the minority, you're going to have people in your life that are not going to always understand why you feel the way you do. And quite frankly, you don't need them to understand. All you need to do is to be able to understand yourself, how to manage your sensitivities, and be a healthy human being in this world. So I hope this has given you some good insights on how to really learn how to accept yourself and learn how to deal with these sensitivities and sometimes the triggers that we face being a highly sensitive person when people say these things to us. For someone who's not highly sensitive, I hope you learned what not to say to someone who's highly sensitive, because that'll really help you go far with this person. So I hope you are doing well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below and share this with whoever you think might benefit from this information. And I'll see you guys next week.